best building channel in Rust. So today I have for you a nice solo duo Widegap base. As we start off, we have a mini Satori stubby version disconnectable PC. There are two identical ones on both sides of the base. Disconnect your TC, just place in a roof and then it will disconnect. Placing back your frame triangles and upgrade them to sheet metal, then your external TCs is set and done again. As we go into the gatehouse, we have a nice window for some views outside and then a nice airlock as well to get into your compound. The compound is nicely surrounded with 3 turrets, having a nice 360 degree view of your compound. There's a lot of space for plants and everything to place in this base. You can make the outside just as you like, so you don't have to worry about placing everything like I did. As we go to the front, we have your standard airlock that everyone uses, with a nice little window to view the outside. And then we get into our first area. We've got nice 2 storage furnace areas on the sides, and then we have a dust overhead DropBox loot section. As we go in deeper, we found ourselves by your research table and your workbench. We've got a nice other little storage area just on top for some quick and simple loot. We've got also a few door boxes for some extra storage space. A nice locker to get into that action quickly when you go up from the first floors. As we go down, we find ourselves by our bunker area. This is just a normal roof bunker. All that you have to do with this bunker is remove this floor and then the bunker is open. Then you can get out again. To place back the bunker again, just place in a wooden foundation with your roof, and then your bunker is set and protected for the night. In our core, we have a full-on loot room on the one side, and on the other side we also have a nice half loot room with enough space to store anything you have. The TC is protected by 2 windows. You can upgrade the windows to the armored ones if you want to. And as we go back up again, we find ourselves by the elevator chute going to our shooting floor. In the shooting floor there is 2 fast respawn bed areas that is perfect for you to quickly respawn back into the action. On the top we have a nice little peak that protects the front door, for any case raiders are coming through the front door, with a little bit of extra storage on top. The best perk about this base is we have windows facing into your Widegap shooting floor. If they are breached, you can easily take back your shooting floors just by peeking raiders through these windows. The Widegap shooting floor is quite nice with 2 double ramps, having a lot of view and angles to shoot down those raiders. The best thing also is that the turrets actually protect somewhat the shooting floor as well, so you don't have to worry about raiders running around on your shooting floor. As we go up to the roof of the base, there's a nice elevator placing up. You can even store yourself another turret on top. There's a few windows to have a nice view on top of your roof for any roof campers, and this area is perfect to place in yourself a small helicopter. So this base is perfect for a nice solo duo. You can build the roof and everything just as you like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe as well. The build cost is quite reasonable for this base, and also the upkeep is quite low, so you won't have to struggle to upkeep this base. The footprint is also kind of small, so you won't have to worry about building it in tight spots. The base has quite a small and easy starter. You start off by placing yourself a triangle foundation and a triangle next to that. Close it off with some walls and then placing your TC nicely into the corner and close it off with a window. Next you can close off all the walls and ceilings and then placing a square foundation next to that. Close everything off with walls and placing your doorway. This area can be perfect for little starter items to get you started off the wipe. On the next side, place in your square foundation and then a triangle next to that. You can close everything off and then the whole starter base should be done and set. This area can be used for your research tables and everything. Phase 2, we're gonna start by expanding our starter place by adding in our little bunker area. All around the bunker, placing 3 triangles with 1 triangle lifted. Close off the triangle that is lifted off the ground with half walls and close it off with a roof. On the sides, close off all the triangles and close everything off with walls and roofs. Then your bunker is set and done. If you have a ladder edge blueprint, you can place one down. If not, just use a normal furnace for a jump up or just a ladder. In the front, we're gonna add in our airlock. The first door can be sheet metal and the second one armored if you don't have sheet metal. Secondly, just close off the remaining area with walls and you can leave the ceiling on top just wood for now. Lastly, we can start by surrounding the whole second floor with walls all around. And then close everything off with ceilings. Make sure that you leave the one ceiling open and just make it wood for now, as you will be picking it out later. Just fill in your walls all around and place in your wall frames. Lastly, fit in all your sheet metal doors. Quite an easy. Now we're gonna upgrade the essential parts of the base to sheet metal and armored. Where the TC is at, just upgrade everything to armored as you won't be able to upgrade it later on. And if you have garage doors, you can add them into your core for now. At the outside, we need to add in a few half-height triangles just to make the shelves on the inside much easier to place. Do this on both sides to place in both sides of the shelves in the base. And it will be easy to replace them later on if you are raided. On the front outside of the base, we need to place in 2 sheet metal foundations to protect the little bunker area from future raiding. Just add in a nice little area for honeycomb and then place in your roofs. Just place the few triangles next to the roof first before you place in the roof, otherwise you won't be able to place those triangle foundations. And lastly, if you want, you can start by adding in your turret pod areas. Just fill them in with chain link fence. Not that chain link fence works anymore to protect your turrets from compound bows. Lastly, just fill in the honeycomb all around the base to make it the first floor easy and hard to raid. In phase 3, we're gonna start by adding our Widegap external TCs. Go out with 3 foundations and then place in a triangle at the end. Remove all the foundations and go back with your triangles. This is quite an easy step, so just make sure that you keep placing the right triangles and where you need to place in your foundations. It is quite easy to get a bit disorientated with this, but it's not that bad. Lastly, just place in your last triangle and make sure it's only stone. The rest of the gatehouse, just move on and then get onto your TC area. Upgrade the TC's foundation and everything to stone just to make it as strong. Two half walls on top and then your ceiling, and your disconnectable TC is ready to go. Just placing your TC, close it off with a stone window and close everything else off in the external TC. There's a lot of videos on how to build the mini Satori TCs, so it won't be that difficult. The gatehouses is quite simple, just adding your windows, your doorways, and as well as closing off your ceilings. Placing where there needs to be windows, and then placing your doors where there needs to be doors. On the sides, we're gonna start by adding our shooting floor frames. The two front shooting floor frames just need to be one height, and the rest can be two height. On top of that, placing half walls with your ceilings. Go on top of the base, and then placing the rest of your ceilings with a few wooden frames, and then placing your ramps. Placing the frames before the ramps, otherwise you won't be able to place in the frames. The second external TC is exactly the same, so I'm just gonna quickly phase through this one. Finish them off, placing a metal barricade on top of each of the external TCs, and then just close off the whole compound with wooden walls, or even if you have stone walls, you can use stone walls as well. In the last phase, we're gonna add in our shooting floor and the roof. On the inside of the base, you can start by placing everything to garage doors if you have them. Make sure to add in your triangle so you have your nice little DropBox storage area in the front of the base. Start by adding in walls all around, and make sure to make this ceiling wood for now, or if you are, you can expand all the way to the top. Surround the DropBox area all the way with walls, and make sure to add in a half-height ceiling. This can be closed off as a normal door, and even if you want garage doors, but it's not necessary. Make sure to place in all your sheet metal doors all around. These can also be garage doors, but the sheet metal makes a nice airlock. Then lastly, just start by building your floor. The shooting floors are quite easy, everyone knows how to build them, so you won't have to worry about them. just a few ceilings and then you're set and done. Just make sure to fill in all your windows with window bars as well as your doorways with doors. You also need to start by adding in this layer of honeycomb just to make the shooting floor quite easy to build. And also don't forget to add in your backside tower pot as well as the reinforcement for the DC on the sides. On the top of the base you can lastly add in a few walls, surround everything with windows and close it off with a nice garage door. Just remember to place in your windows and also window shutters if you want to. That's the whole base nicely built and set.